Picked the wrong week and quit sniffing glue.
My name is Optimus Prime. Autobots, roll out!
Well, hot dang, friends. Pack 11 came a couple of days early. The email said it was going to be Monday, and then checked again last night, and it said it's going to be Saturday. And here it is Saturday, and I have Pack 11 of the Optimus Prime build from Agora's. I'm going to jump right into it. Happened to have by coincidence, my desk is clear. I just finished a kit yesterday, so no better time than to get to it. Now, it's kind of getting sad because we've only got one more of these deliveries. This is the Pack 11 out of 12. So we've got one more time after this that I can be hounding the tracking, you know, hounding the internet to see where my package is. But we've got it today. Let's jump down and take a look at the parts. I know this is going to be the mid-waist, waist and up to the chest. And we're going to do the tires and the tanks that go on the legs. We're going to completely finish the legs. And then we're going to do the spine, which I've been told is a tricky thing. And we've got the getting up to the chest area. So I'll bring the camera back around and I'll show you the stacks of parts. And for the first time, we've actually got parts that we're not going to use. They've been very, very good up to this point of if you get 3 trays of parts, you're going to use all 3 trays of parts. But because we've got so much left to do, they've given us parts that we don't touch until Pack 12. So let's look, and we're going to start doing some of the electronics. We've got the remote control, which is going to be fun. We're going to do that. Unfortunately, we've got nothing to control because putting it all together and adding that board into the chest, that's going to happen next time. So let's look at the parts and dive in. Okay, I've got Prime on the table because we are going to be building onto him. We're going to be putting these side tires in and these tanks that go here, and here are all of those parts. So I've got the pad with my instructions ready. All I need to do is to go start going through these parts. And again, these are the tires, these are parts for the remote and for the hips, and there's the spine parts right in there. And then here is the last cappers of the top of the hips, and then we start going into parts like the matrix of leadership and his rifle and parts like this. We got some electronics here that we're not going to be using, not in this build. So I've kept the box to the side so that I can put those back in. While I'm talking about the box for 1 second, I'm going to pull the box up from the floor, and I want to take 1 second to talk to whoever at Agora needs to hear this. But this is how the box came. This tab is all that was holding it together. The box, of course, was like this. I mean, it was like that, but this tab was all that was holding it together, and it wasn't even sealed. This box was completely open. If it weren't for the careful handling by my mailman, who I've known for a few years, this would have been wide open. There's nothing holding that down. If I had one comment I would make to the fine people at Agora, it would be do a better job with this. Either put more tabs on it at a bare minimum, but you know, put the whole box into a shrink wrap and shrink wrap the whole box. That would be nice. Just something to think about, because again, I've only got one more of these to get, and I've not had a single problem with any parts, getting any parts. But that's just, you know, inviting mayhem, and I don't like to invite mayhem. So on to the build. Okay, so I've pogged my grubby hands through all of the trays, making sure that I could match up all the parts that I need. Pulled out all the screws. Look at all of these lovely things. I don't think I'm going to need to pull the part work upgrade mat out, because all of this is attaching to that, and we don't seem to be working on too many of the parts that have the paint, at least not at this stage. So if I have to later, I will. But I think while we're working on the legs, I'm going through the instructions, and it's looks like there's a good chunk of the stuff that we can do after we get the legs, or I'm sorry, after we get the wheels and those tanks on there. We can kind of set him to the side and work on the spine independently of it. So let's dig in. I've got my instructions here. Let's go. Okay, we're at our first breaking point. I'm not sure I'm going to be reaching a lot of breaking points today, but we got the first bit done. That is these side tanks on the each side, and now we are starting to build the tires. And I think, if it's possible, I'm going to hoist him down off of the table and build the tires up and get ready to attach them all at one time. I think that's how you can do it. Let's see, assembling the left side wheels, assembling the right side wheels. I think I might combine some of those steps and just do all 4 wheels at the same time. Then minimize the amount of times I'm raising and lowering him from the table, because like I said, he's a hefty child. Okay, I've got the tire parts laid out for the 4 of these, and you start with a brake disc and a caliper, and you need to glue these. So get the glue back out, and I'll let you know when all these are done. Alright, the next mini stage is complete. I've got the tires under the fenders there, and I've got tanks and tires on both legs. So now I think I can, yeah, because we're starting on the spine, and I've been warned about that. So we're going to set Prime off of the table and start working on showing a little backbone. That took a while of work, but that was fun, putting the spine together. It was easy once you got a rhythm and got your parts out and was very systematic about it. It was pretty easy to do. They recommend using a hammer to push these pins in place, but I found that if I just squeezed it in with these pliers here, the channel locks, I could squeeze it down in there. The lesson I learned from Wayne over at World of Wayne, that you can use, well, he uses duckbill pliers, but this had to be wider, so it was wider than my regular pliers could work. I had to use the big channel locks, but that's a piece of work right there. That took a good chunk of time. Now we're going to be doing all of these pieces, it looks like, and screwing them down with, yeah, PB 2x3x6. So yeah, just get all these pieces out and get an assembly line going. And here is the finished spine with all of the plates covering the back of it. Now, it would have been a lot easier if they hadn't tried to hide some of these parts underneath other parts, but that's the name of the game. So what we're going to do is put this to the side, because it looks like we need to get the body back out and start working on the mounting plates. So let's put this spine to the side and go get the big bot. Okay, we're going to stop mid-stage because there's just so much stuff going on here that I think we needed to stop and explain. We're working on the waist and the lower chest at this point. We've got the wiring running up through. We've got the spine attached to the back. This is all the mechanism that's going to allow Prime to bend over forward and twist side to side. Although right now everything is so tight you can't do it, which is the idea. Because once you get the leverage of all the parts on top of it, that's what's going to allow you to do it. You want these joints really tight now, or else he'll just be all floppy and won't stand up afterwards. So we're about mid. Let's see, we've got this many parts left, but we're about mid chest. So one more session and we'll be done. And that completes Prime as far as this build. I have to tell you, I had to get up on a stool I have to get up on this chair on my knees to get up to this high point. I can no longer work on it just sitting the way that it is. When it comes to next month's extravaganza, I'm going to have to settle on the floor, I'm sure, or lay it down on a table. But stray wires for the leg lights notwithstanding, that is the waist. There's a whole lot of industry going on inside of there. You don't think that it's that big a deal, but boy howdy, there's a bunch of work going on in there. And we've got, if you can believe it, if you can see in there, there are fan blades, radiators, and then there are blades actually in there that you will never ever see, because I don't even think that part was supposed to come off that easily. We'll push that back on. But wait, there's more. We have one more thing to do with this build, and that is to build the remote control for all of the electronics. So let me take Prime off of the table here and get the other last remaining parts out. Actually, I decided I could just push him back a little bit further, because I'm only going to move him once more, and that's when I'm done. I got to move him off to get on to next week's builds. But here are all the parts for the remote. It's going to be a pretty simple matter to put that together. We just don't have anything to, it's like, what, 4 steps. We don't have any thing to control yet, so we won't be able to test anything. So we're going to finish it up here, and I will give you some final thoughts. Well, kids, that took all day. It's about 5 o'clock now, and I started around 1. So yeah, maybe even 12. It took all day, but you know, I'm not in any hurry. I'm really enjoying this build, and I'm sad that it has to end next month. I don't know what, I hope Agora does something similar to this next. I'm not a big fan of the 1.8 car builds, so you know, until something that strikes my fancy comes up, this is going to be it for Partworks. I'm doing the ET build and the RoboCop build over on Fan Home, but so many other people are doing those builds that you don't need to see me doing those. But that's the type of build I'm interested in, the character stuff, not necessarily the cars. So unless they were to pull out like a Chitty Chitty Bang Bang or something like that, that might get my interest in a car. I was very tempted to sign on to the Fan Home Batmobile, but the way the deliveries had been so spotty on the Fan Home RoboCop, I just couldn't see it. You know, maybe the ET will give me a better taste in my mouth for Fan Home, and I will, you know, do one of those catch-up deals. But for right now, this guy is it, and he is. See, I got the tape measure out just for this occasion. To this point, he is 22.5 inches tall. That's from the floor to the top of the waist where he is right now. And I will try. It is so heavy. I will try to bring this out. I can barely lift this with one hand. This is so much metal. This is so heavy. But this is where we are. He needs to be. He's going to have his own home, trust me. But I've got this, and then I've got the stand that he has to go on. Now I'm presuming the stand will not come with the 12 pack. The stand will come separately at a later date. Here is said remote. We've got controls for, it looks like there's an eyeball, so I wonder if that lights his eyes up. There's 2 volume controls up and down. There's a music. There's, I'm guessing, is a there's a repeat, so that could be for the voice chip. There is a matrix light. This looks like a headlights and the turn signal. So there's going to be quite some fun next month, because we haven't gotten the main circuit board yet. We do have these pieces left, and this is mostly the BFG and the bits of the larger matrix. Now, if I remember correctly, we were supposed to get a smaller matrix that fits in his chest, and then a larger matrix for display. And that's what I believe these parts are for. So this all goes back in the box till next month. when we will be finishing Optimus Prime. So till that day, till all are one, roll out if that's your inclination.